Okay, it was a busy weekend. A lot of competing, a lot of work getting done. Kind of really the highlight getting as the week starts, just coming off the weekend with all of the work that we did to try to make sure that we were making good decisions and seeing what was available out there too. And so you saw a couple things that we did. You can ask about them if you want, but I feel really good about this group and excited about getting started. It's a big difference when you change almost 30 players. You can just feel the impact of just the volume, and the guys are looking around a little bit, all the empty chairs and all that. So it was a good day to get started. We went and selected captains today too, with Bobby Wagner on defense and Russell Wilson on offense, and Sebastian Janikowski and Nico Thorpe as the special teams guys. And really happy to see those guys take a leadership role. Obviously, the team really liked them and felt that they were the right guys, and so they'll be the guys that will take the leadership role, as well as a bunch of other guys that will contribute too. And on we go. 2018 is on the way.
The trade for Shalom Luani, where do you see him fitting in immediately?
Well, he's a really good football player in general. He's good, he's a tough guy, and that's the first thing. We like that he could. We think he can contribute immediately on special teams, and he'll learn our stuff. He knows how to play free safety and strong safety, featured by the way he runs and hits, and we love that about his nature. A real natural football player, so he should fit right in. We needed the depth for one, and but we really needed that boost from the safety spot on special teams.
What's Dante Johnson showing you at cornerback?
He's done everything we've asked him to. We always kind of transform the guys into our style guys, and it started way back when he was banged up for a good while and didn't have a chance to really show it. But once he did, he showed us that he picked everything up. He had bought into the style that we want him to play. He's been really consistent. He's a big, good-looking kid out there on the spot, and has given us the confidence to go ahead and put him where we have.
Playing under Robert down in San Francisco last year give him a jump start adapting to your system?
It helped, system-wise, not so much technique-wise, but system-wise. He had no problem with the transition. It really was. There was no issues with that at all. He just needed to get on the field and start working with us. And once he got out there, he did a good job. And he has the advantage of the experience and the start times. And so we understand that, respect that, particularly starting off the season.
Putting Byron Maxwell on IR.
He never got healthy. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get back, and he got close, and then he went. In the process of it, he just couldn't get over it, and so he couldn't get well.
Do you need time to get up to speed, or do you expect him to play on Sunday?
We're going to see how he does during the week. We'll just go one day at a time right now. It's been a while for him to get back. He's a fantastic player and contributor, and so we just need to see. I just visited with him just now. He had a really good, solid first day out. He's been working really hard to get to this point, or we wouldn't have been able to even think like we're thinking. He's in rehab. It's been like practice for him. He's close. We'll see. I'm not going to be opposed to playing him this weekend.
Tedrick Thompson, what's his status right now?
He practiced today. We gave him a little limited basis, but he's ready to go.
Hey, Dixon, can you explain what's going on with that?
Yeah, he just hasn't been able to get. He's had really three different things that bothered him in the process of trying to get back. All muscle issues, related issues, and just couldn't get well. So at this point, he's not in shape enough. So he's going to have to get in shape in the next weeks, and he'll be healed soon. But he just wouldn't been able to catch up with us fast enough. So we'll wait a little bit longer for him and expect him to come back in I don't know, whatever it is, 6 weeks or something like that.
How about JD? I know you put him on IR today. How's his process going to look like?
He'll be well. He'll be well halfway through this rehab, I would think. He'll be in great shape. He feels terrific already, but he'll have to wait the length of the period.
Was obviously trading for Darrell Daniels kind of because of that situation? Need to add some depth there, or what?
Yeah, we liked really again. We looked with kind of the edge towards special teams. Want to see that we had a guy that could, from that spot, could play and contribute on special teams. He easily can do that, and he's a good blocker and a physical guy, and we like the opportunity to add him in.
Simeon Thomas and Jordan Simmons, what is it about those guys that stood out?
Well, Simeon was a guy that we saw all the way through the draft. You probably can see why we liked him once you meet him and shake hands with him. He shakes hands with you from about 10 feet away. He's just a real profile guy for us. I mean, we liked him all the way through the draft, and we were thinking about it all the way through, and we took Trey and loved Trey, and so those were the two guys in the draft that I had my eye on throughout, and was hoping we would have a shot to get him. So when the opportunity opened up, we jumped at it.
Jordan Simmons.
Yeah, Jordan Simmons. Jordan had a difficult college career, and then he was banged up quite a bit. And in his effort to get back, it took him a long time. He didn't get all the starts that you would like to see a guy get, but he's played last couple and looked like he's back in really full go. He's a good technique guy, tough, long, big. He's all the right stuff. He just needed to kind of get enough play time so he could show that he could do it. And so we think we're fortunate to get him.
What's a DJ Fluker's situation?
We'll find out later in the week.
How's JR at this point?
You thought I was just going to roll out and just nail you with nail all the injuries and stuff? No.
How's JR getting back into the swing of things?
He took all the reps today, so he's ready. He'll be ready to go by the end of the week. He had a good week last week. We didn't play him just to make sure that we'd get to this week, and everything's worked out fine. It was such a luxury for us to have him to step up, for Fluke if we need him. And Jared will continue. However things work out, he's going to continue to fight to start somewhere. He's going to battle to see if he can get that done. We're very lucky to have him.
Back when you hired Sean Member in the spring, you talked about the relationship with the quarterback and pushing the rust and all that. Now that you've had training camp, preseason, and all that, just how have you seen that kind of play out?
Yeah, it's gone way beyond where I thought it would. Yeah, I didn't, I don't want to say I underestimated Shotty. I just didn't know, how his style would come across and fit so well with us. And he's really active, really energetic, extremely bright, which may not be like us, but he brought that to us. He's just able to command the whole field when he's out there. He's a terrific football coach. But the part that was most important to me was just the interaction with the quarterback as well as the offense. He's got it nailed, and so really lucky. And fortunately, that it didn't have to fit so well. But Russ really took to him, and that made sense to Russ. That what he was offering and what he was bringing, and they've just worked great together. And so I expect nothing but the highest stuff for these guys to figure out. And the relationship is really precisely what I had hoped and more.
Is Rashad's finger all healed up now?
Yes.
With Tedrick preparing for his first start, what have you noticed all summer from him, just in terms of his growth from year one to year two?
He showed playmaking ability really early on. You could see the natural feel and the willingness to go after a ball and make it a break on something, trusting himself, which the really good free safeties do. And so that showed up. We just had to get him adapted, and fit him in. And so he was always in a backup role throughout that and really never could elevate out of that. As soon as we gave him a chance to be with the first group, he just flourished, and he was, remember back, he was one of the hottest guys in camp. And really, we thought coming out of the offseason that he had looked really special. And then as soon as camp started, he was making plays, and he's running and hitting and doing all the good stuff. Did it in the games too. So he's of course, he's still a second-year guy, and then you can't do anything about that. But he seems to play with savvy of a more experienced player than that, and that's why he's been a good player and a good playmaker. So we're really pleased with him and happy to have him ready to go this weekend.
How have you seen Shaquem handle it? And there's so much on him this year coming in, and there's so much attention. How have you seen him handle it?
It has gone up and down a little bit. First week, remember he had 9 tackles. Second week, he was lost. He was all over the place, and so you could see the newness just kind of affect him. And I don't know what it was that got to him. He's been diligent about the preparation and the process all the way throughout, but not until he came back week 3 did he we visited. Everybody was working with him, try to get his feet on the ground, make sure he was just relaxing through the process, as opposed to he was over tight. He was trying too hard. He wanted to do too much, and it totally messed with him. It was so obvious that it made sense, and he really just turned the corner. So that happened week 3, and week 4 he played really good in both those weeks. So he really had one down week, but I do think with all that has followed him, we have to stay with him, and we've got to monitor him, and it's almost too much for anybody, in some regards. Having his brother right there next to him throughout all of this couldn't be more valuable, because they ground off of each other, they fit off of each other so well, and they own up to each other really well. Shaquille will just tell him flat out what he needs to tell him, and they don't mince any words at all. And I think with that, we has as much support as he's going to need. I think he'll be able to handle it, and so But everything's brand new, first time stuff, first time official start in the league. So we'll take each one of them one step at a time and take them on through it.
How did you get him from being overtight? How did you guys in the staff approach that?
Listen to him. I like that you asked that question. We listened to him and what he was concerned about, and you could tell that he was, his head was spinning with all of the coaching points and the principles and reading this, reading that, and we just needed to simplify for him and needed to take it down to a level that would be really manageable. It's interesting maybe for you, I don't know, we'll find out, that really good players see things a lot simpler than new guys and guys that aren't at that same level. They have a way of kind of clearing out the stuff that is not important and really focusing on the essence. And when you're a young guy trying to do everything for everybody and do everything, it just looks, it's insurmountable. And that's kind of how he was looking at it, and he was tight, and he wanted to, he wanted to please everybody and all the rest, and he just was trying to do too much stuff. So we simplified it, got his language really clear, what he was intending on trying to get done, like making his drops and making his reads and stuff, just simplified things. And he's a really good ball player, and he just took to it. And I think he took also to the fact that we showed confidence in him. Instead of ripping his butt about what he couldn't do, we told him what he could do, and he kind of followed it. And all of a sudden he felt like he was very comfortable and much more at home. So see how it works.
With Austin Calitro making the team, what did he do throughout preseason that really impressed you?
He had a good preseason. Everybody, you guys are all here watching him. He had a good preseason on the field in games, and he made the plays. He's been great on the practice field. He's been great in the meeting room. He's a classy kid all the way. But when he got in the field, he started making some hits, and the longer he went into the preseason, the more he made, and the more physical he became, and the more confident he became. So it was just clear it's a real classic. He'd have made the team. He'd have made the club, and put a little statement on it in the last couple of weeks too. So we're really happy to have him and feel very comfortable about him going in the game.
Any updates on KJ's status with that knee scope?
I'll just tell you, he looks great. I mean, if you've seen him out here, you can't even tell there's anything wrong with him. So when we talked about it could be a quick recovery, I'm surprised at how good he looks right now. So he's still got some swelling, some stuff he's working on and all that, but this is a remarkable process he's on, and I don't know why they knew that he could get back in a couple of weeks, but he's got a shot. We'll see.
Has there been any additional contact with Earl Thomas in any fashion?
Nothing to report.
How difficult was it to get down to 5 guys at the receiver position? Is Darbaugh a guy you were kind of hoping to get back?
Yeah, that position was a great position during camp. There was just so many guys that continued to make plays. I mean, all the way up to the last game, different guys were making big things happen and all that. So there was a lot of guys in the mix for us, and we could have gone a number of different ways. But David really made it clear. He was really productive and unique out there, and we're really clear about Doug, of course, and Tyler. And when we saw Brandon round into shape and we could take the workload and make all the plays that he's made, that was a good decision for us. And all along, Jaron Brown was a guy that we just thought he could do a lot of stuff for us, and he did it. He did everything we had hoped he would do to get to the start of the season here, special teams, the running game, and the passing game, making his plays and all that. So those guys we felt really confident there. There's 3 other guys we could have had, and there's other ways we could have gone too. So it was a very good group this time around.
Keeping 6 running backs, how indicative of that, in the fullback, how indicative of that is how you want to play in shotgun system?
Well, there's a statement, we're trying to be really secure at the position, and McKissick's going to be out of that, for a while, but all these guys are good players, and then they also contribute on teams, and there's still information to be gained. We still got to figure some stuff out here too. We got to see Rashad some more. He's had a spectacular early part of camp, and before we shut him down. So we'll see how that fits in. But it's just a really good group, and we really couldn't avoid the guys. They're all too good for in our system.
Having Hundley out here, what's your initial impression of him?
Just, he did fine. He got rid of the ball really quickly, and I think what would be really impressive if you could see it is the way Shadi and Dave Canales have organized the process to get him ready to play this weekend, and very specific and very tuned in, and he's taken to it, and he's a really bright kid, and he's handled everything to this point so that he can go out in the field and he looks like he's been playing with us. You couldn't tell any difference. So, but that's about what we got today. Really determined to be right on the point of all the calls and the execution of the plays on the field today. So he did really well.
His
Frank Clark okay?
Yes.
Be
Yep.
okay for the weekend?
Yeah, he's fine.
And Nico's wrist, fine.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, Nico. Who else?
Who would be your backup nickelback right now?
There's a couple guys that have worked in there. Nico's been there. You know, we like him. A couple of guys have messed with it, but that's where we go.
Anything else?
Get me out of here before I
Yeah.
get down.
Thank you. Yeah.